1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We are in London. We are in London. Na 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 na. Yeah.
Hey everybody.
Hi guys.
My name is Luke Harbur.
My name is Veer Badani.
We are so happy to have you listening to our podcast, Abroad, episode 1 of 4.
Abroad is our monthly podcast in which we will talk about all our adventures and journeys throughout London and across Europe.
And we are talking to you from our flat, which is located at 13 Manson Place, Kensington, London.
And just a 5-minute walk away is the London Centre, where we go to class. You'll hear more about that awesome place as we go along.
Let's do it.
There we go.
So now we are going to talk to you guys about the tube. It's really great. It's actually one of the most efficient ways, I would say, you can get transportation around London. Wouldn't you say, Veer?
Indeed, definitely. And there's the beauty of it is it's the tubes are considered like the veins of London. It makes sense if you see a tube map. It's those lines go north, south, east, west, every single corner you can think about. And the lines that we predominantly use here is the District Line, Circle Line, Piccadilly Line, and Victoria Line.
And for any students who potentially want to come to the London Centre, that's probably the lines you're going to take based off of where you're probably going to live too.
You have an Oyster card, which is basically like, it's the size of like a little credit card, and you keep topping that up with money, and that's how you get through the turnstiles to go to every station. You swipe when you go in, swipe when you go out.
And one of my actually favorite words and like lingo is top up. You said it earlier, mentioned it earlier. That basically means that you're going to refill your card with money. Wait, we have to talk about the challenge that we did. Yeah, go ahead.
Most of the times, if you're coming back in the evenings, that's when it's called peak time, which is when, obviously the trains are just filled with people. We went from Sloane Square Tube to South Kensington Tube. If anybody looks that up, you'll see it. And as soon as the doors closed and started leaving from Sloane Square, we just bolted through people's legs, people's handbags, dogs, and cats, and a lot of other stuff.
It was like 11:30 at night when we tried to do this.
Yeah, proper drunk time.
Yeah, right. We were a little suspicious from people, but at the same time, you have to try it. It is one of the most fun little challenges that you can probably do here.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Brought to you by Adobe Creative Suite. It literally made this. This is not a real advertisement. I'm here interviewing Thorin from the Ithaca College London Centre. Thorin, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. Are you ready to do this?
I think so.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So let us begin. Can you just tell me a little bit about where you grew up?
I was born in a road called Fellows Road in London, near Swiss Cottage. I was born at home, quite unusual. It would probably be known as Hampstead in London, near Swiss Cottage and Primrose Hill and England's Lane.
Wow, lovely. And what was it like growing up in that area?
Primrose Hill is probably, and somewhere I suggest you visit, is a lesser well-known park in London, and so it was our closest park, and I suppose I have fairly vivid memories of go-karting down Primrose Hill, and it was very close to the zoo. We didn't go to the zoo particularly, but it was a nice and quite a nice area of London to grow up in. So pleasant, I suppose.
Lovely. Well, a lot of our listeners are college students, university students. Where did you personally go to university?
I was at the University of London, so for the most part, I did a master's in New Mexico in the United States, but my PhD is from the University of London.
Can you tell me some of your favorite memories you have from university in general?
Oh, I suppose friendships are quite important, and friendships that have endured, and having quite a lot of fun as well with friends, and independence. I suppose those are really the things I would say. It's quite a long time ago, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's all right too.
in terms of memories, they fade, but I have enduring friendships from that time.
Wonderful. That's great. Well, okay. Let's move to the present day right now. So what exactly brought you to the Ithaca College London Centre?
Initially, I suppose I saw a job advertised and applied for it. I think I knew I've worked in study abroad quite a lot, And so I was familiar with Ithaca College, but that was what brought me here in particular. But I've got a background in international education.
And what has it been like working here at the London Centre for you?
It's been I was going to say fantastic, really, because I think Ithaca College students, and I'm not in any way trying to promote anything here, but Ithaca College students are some of the nicest students.
What is your personal advice for students at Ithaca College or elsewhere who may like to come here? What advice do you have for them if they'd really like to come here?
Whilst I think London and Britain is potentially a springboard for Europe, I would advise that students try to get to know Britain and get to know London in a way other than being a tourist, as well as focusing on, and as I say always at orientation, it's a big challenge because you've got your academic programme, but you've also got London and Britain and Europe. But I think to really engage with Britain, you need to do a little bit more, or one needs to do a little bit more than just go to the sites.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And here we go. Back to Veer.
Now for a weather update for everybody. Luke, how's it been since we've arrived in London?
Well, it's been cold, wet, rainy, and gray. Yeah, the average temperature since January 10th has been around 7 degrees Celsius. And for our listeners back in the U.S., that sits around 44.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, so basically it's just like Ithaca, it's just without the snow and it's warmer.
That means it's not like Ithaca.
Right, okay, anyway, moving on to...
Wait.
What?
Why does the U.S. use Fahrenheit?
Why does the U.S. Oh, buddy, that's for another podcast.
Then moving right along.
All right.
Well, folks, I have to say, food has actually been quite an interesting experience here.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Yeah, let me tell you what. I actually have given up red meat and chicken while I've been here. So I've tried out a pescatarian-based diet. It's been really interesting, and Veer can certainly vouch for
and
that.
a new update, I am still vegetarian, as I was and will be.
Wahoo!
So.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's definitely been cool to see Luke in that way, avoiding red meat, and it's been interesting. Still has fish at the house, so it still kind of has a little stinky smell sometimes.
Not wrong.
Which is fun, which is interesting when you wake up.
Let's talk about some of the places we go out to eat.
One of the chains that was really popular here that we love a lot is called Pret. The full form, I believe, is Pret a Manger. I apologize if I say that wrong. Mangeant. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I can't remember.
If anybody knows the proper pronunciation, please let us know so we can stop screwing that up. Thank you very much.
And that's perfect for like lunch. I know for me, when I like to kind of get up early in the morning, or ultimately I like to have some kind of morning get up and go sort of snacky thing. I love going to a place called Cafe Nero. It's one of my favorite places. I usually get a little coffee and like a little croissant from there. And now we have to talk about the best dessert place on earth.
If you are a fan of cookies,
oh my God,
you have not lived until you eat at Ben's Cookies.
I feel like it is just a place.
It is amazing.
That is so perfect in so many ways and is relatively cheap for
a huge cookie. You get a really big, it's
so
bigger
big.
than the palm of your hand. It's bigger in size than the palm of your hand. And it's about £1.30 or £1.50.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And honestly though, peeps, like, you will not understand what it means to eat perfection until you have Ben's
Until you have Ben's Cookies.
So here in England, drinking is a whole different cultural thing. In England, the legal age to start drinking is 18 years of age. And I know that's something that Veer and I really want to dive into, right, buddy?
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, it's different from back home, of course, it being 21 in the States and back in India. And the thing here is drinking is not really seen as like, a thing you do on like the side. Here, it's a part of your culture. It's a part of the experience and the social life that people live here. And a big thing that we kind of want to, experience with our own kind of social life, if you will, is trying different drinks. So we both have, obviously, our own favorites. For me, it's going to be trying different types of beers. I already got the beer belly, so I know that works for me in my theme. Sorry, Mom. But a big thing is to try different beers that are popular in London, popular in England, and is all across of Europe, really, as we go along on our travels.
For me, just when traveling everywhere, I'm very, very interested in hard ciders.
Soft cider not doing it for you?
No. I mean, it's still great to have soft cider, but with hard cider, it's so cool because it's basically fermented apple or fermented pear. And all of these different types of ciders really offer a different experience.
But a big thing that we did is our very first pub, actually, that we went to was called the Stanhope Arms. And it was right here on Gloucester Road, which is basically, you can say it's like 1 block over from us. It's like a 2-minute walk.
It's packed every single day. We said at the beginning of this segment that drinking is not just a social aspect. Really, honestly, it's almost a daily schedule for some people. Yeah. It's where you go for lunch, have a drink with each other. If you're gonna, be hanging out, have a drink.
But I think the key thing to know is that when we say, they go to have a drink at the pub, it's literally only 1 or 2. That's the difference. So then maybe, if they have they'll have a beer at lunch and then a glass of wine at dinner. So no one's of course you have people like that, but the majority of people who walk in the pub are walking out straight. They're not stumbling out of the pubs. And that's the big difference in terms of culture and in terms of how drinking is taken here.
So the Ithaca College London Center offers these really cool weekend trips monthly, and I got to go on the first one to a place in England called Bath. Now we stopped in probably 4 other cities.
Let me stop you there. I have to ask. Bath. Did you take a bath in Bath?
Dude, I had a goal to take a bath in Bath, but we didn't have enough time. It was called Bath because of the Roman baths were there, and they're still there to this day.
Got it.
Yes. And you got to drink the Roman bath water at the end.
That's hygienic, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Very hygienic.
But it tasted gross, but it was kind of cool to know that was a really, really important place for Romans back then. That was where they would socialize, where they would clean themselves and whatnot.
Next up, I will be talking about one of the main reasons I chose to come to London. Football. Now, this is not American football, but soccer, as it is known in the States. But for the rest of the podcast, however, I'll refer to it as football. I've been very lucky so far, actually, to have been to 5 football games so far, which we'll discuss further in a moment. And Luke, I believe you've been to 3?
Yes.
3 matches so far? Yeah.
I have been to 3 matches.
3 matches, yeah. All with me, so we have a lot to talk about, which will be fun. Yeah. But so my first trip going to, so I think as most people who know me listening to the podcast will know that I'm a fanatic Manchester United fan. Mm-hmm. And of course, coming here, it was inevitable that sooner or later I'll go to Manchester to see a game of my beloved team. And lucky enough, that happened on January 29th. And it was a tournament called the FA Cup, which is a domestic English tournament here, played in England. And it was a game between Manchester United and Wigan Athletic. If anybody wants to Google that, they're a team that play in the second tier of football, not in the main tier of English football. And I remember the first time going, and I was so emotional because this is something that I've followed and I've seen on TV or my laptop for about almost 12, 13 years. I remember I was walking down the road, and all of a sudden, on the backside of a building, I see these white towers that are the top of the stadium. And as soon as I saw that, I remember my eyes just left. I just teared so much when I saw it. And I remember feeling that sense of accomplishment, if that makes sense. I just felt that feeling of I'm finally here. I've done it.
I didn't get football until being with Veer, and I got to give Veer full credit on that. Because now that my first game coming here was a Fulham game. Yes. And that was so much fun. People, you have to see the game of football in person, because then you really realize how athletic these men and women are. It is crazy. They literally run for
90 minutes.
90 minutes. 90 minutes.
Non-stop.
To 100 minutes because of the added on time sometimes. Yep. Yeah.
And it's a very tribal experience. It's a very tribal sense. And that's what I love about football, being a football fan. Because it's more than just being, a part of a club or a supporter. You're a part of a team. You're a part of a group of people that means something more than just yourself.
Sure.
And I think that's the beauty of football and the beauty of sport.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening to the first episode of Abroad.
And if you guys have any comments, feedback you want to give us, please do so on our social media pages. Bye.